Radiacode Zero. Okay, we're going to turn some lights on here. Now, I snuck away for about half an hour. While I was away, the postie dropped something on my doorstep. Now, I know exactly what this is, and I've been expecting it. Now, this video will serve two purposes. Firstly, this will go on my monthly donations and deliveries video. The other one, because this is a sponsored delivery, there will be a separate unboxing video as well. So this will probably be the intro to both of them. So let's have a look at what we have in here. This is something I've been looking forward to, and I was pretty shocked that Radiacode agreed to send me this box. And apparently they gave me a bonus as well. So let's have a look at what the bonus is first. This is a protective capsule, PCU one. I like how they're taking the semi-military style with this. So this I've been curious about. So let's have a look. I was just taking a quick moment to read. A nice bit of plastic here. It feels like a very professional container. This feels very solid and metallic. Okay, so we have a little container here. So this, I'm not sure what this is meant to be. Is this meant to be a sample container? It's produced in Cyprus by Radiacode. I like this orange tube. This is something I'm going to put somewhere in my favorites. So this is clearly threaded. Let's have a look. It's aluminium for sure. All right, so this looks like a sample container, and it is it's quite solid. It's quite weighty aluminium too. So it looks like it could be quite solid and probably going to dampen lower energy radiation just a little bit. And there's even a rubber seal around here as well too. So that's nice. I appreciate that. That is definitely good if I happen to be in the field. Although one thing I will do, looking at how that O-ring just had a little bit of a hiccup there, I'll put a little bit of plumber's grease on that O-ring. O-rings, no O-ring has a true seal unless it's properly lubricated, but that will help. And it's definitely machined. I can feel the ridges, so this has been lathed. It's got proper ridges, so this might even be hand machined, but it looks wonderful. Right, what else have we got? Now this, I can tell you what this is going to be. This is going to be a Radiacode Zero. Now this is somewhat different to their previous ones, and we have more stickers. I have a few stickers. You'll notice some of them showed up in the background here. Now this is the Radiacode Zero. This is their high range meter. We've got a factory seal on the boxes. It's USB-C, Bluetooth, Google Play and Apple Store compatible. This is their new box, which looks pretty cool. It's semi sort of transparent artwork. I find it just amazing that they trust me to have a look at their equipment, and they give me no real requirements on this. So this is an RC 410 0000509. So you have a look. Now this should open a bit like an iPhone box. If we get it right, it should drop out like that. We have the QR code that shows you a link to the Radiacode space that you can link it up with, and how to set it up. We have a user manual on the top, the Radiacode Zero information, which is in a little foldable section in multiple languages. We have again actually fairly reasonable USB-C leads that have been including with these, which are good and they are data capable. Now let's have a look at this initial looks at it. Okay, so it feels, it's the same form factor as the Radiacode 110. It feels a little bit lighter, actually. I have a 110, and I have several others as well. I have a 103 and a 101. So we'll have a look at this in a minute. Let's just fire this up, actually. Let's have a quick look here. Is it going to be charged enough to fire up? It is. Same sort of sound effects, but different text on the front, which, because I guess because these are a little difficult to determine the differences in models just by looking at them, because they do the efficient thing and use the same housings for different models. This pretty quickly distinguishes it as a Radiacode Zero. From what I've seen, these don't do spectrometry, because I think this is a plastic scintillator. And so there's a few different features in here. So I'm not seeing spectrum. And we have somebody at the door, namely a postie. So we'll talk to them in a second. Okay, so shipped with 89% battery. And we have to push and hold to unlock as usual. Oh, so the same software. So when it's unlocked, pushing down will unlock the clicks. Now this is energy compensated a bit. So it's showing about 1 count per second. But these are somewhat less sensitive to lower energy stuff, but they are much more sensitive to a broader range, which, let's have a look over here. I have a little bit of uranium glass in the mini museum. The 110 picks this up very well. The 101 I wouldn't expect to pick up so much because it's quite low energy. So there's a slight increase, but not too much. Do I turn the clicks on? I think I have to push and unlock. And then push that for the clicks. There we go. So yes, definitely we'll put this under an X-ray machine at some point and we'll see how it behaves. It probably won't saturate and have afterglow like the 110. Now, where the Radiacode Zero is handy is in the place of absolutely ancient Canadian things like this. This is a Radiac meter made in Canada. This starts at 1 rad per hour. So if this needle actually starts to move, you're in trouble. This is going to give you a more accurate reading at the higher levels that something like a survey meter like this would be handy for. This is much more compact and doesn't require weird battery conversions or mercury batteries. And you know, this one, even secondhand, still cost me $300. So you're probably better off getting one of these guys, and it's going to give you a much better calculation as to what's going on and an instant feedback audibly as to what's happening. So this, for a kit where you may be hiding something in your bunker, or you're looking at a bug out bag, or you're just generally in an environment where radiation is a risk, this is probably a better solution. But we'll do some tests and we're going to get some backgrounds and we're going to do a whole bunch of stuff. So Radiacode have actually asked me to get some background readings from all the different models I have, because they're collecting a database of areas around the world and getting average backgrounds. So I'll be doing that probably tonight, and we'll have a play with this one very soon. So hopefully you had fun. Okay, so we have them in search mode. I couldn't figure out how to have this show microsieverts per hour. It does do it in the dose rate. The 103 was setting counts per minute, so I've just put them into counts per second, put them in search mode. So the 101 is giving us, so the least sensitive among these is probably going to be the 0 because it's the high range meter, but it gives a broader range of what it will detect. This is more so like bug out, emergency worksite sort of safety, dosimeter kind of stuff. The 110 is good for finding cool stuff. It's probably the most sensitive. So our 0 is giving us between 0 and 4 counts per second, cycling through a bit. This one is giving us about between 8 and 32 counts per second because there's interesting stuff around, I guess. This one's giving about 4.75. This one's giving us about 3. Something I did want to check, and I'm currently charging this, so let's unplug it. This is the little portable data logger I've been making for these. This should search for Radiacode models and auto connect to them when I first power it up. So we'll see if this does exactly that. It does. It's auto connected to it. So the Radiacode GitHub, or the libraries for Arduino, are still compatible for the Radiacode Zero. That's very nice. So reading up more on what this is, because I didn't expect to get it, this is the Protective Capsule version 1. This is designed to actually protect the Radiacode itself, not for samples. So this goes in, your Radiacode can go in there. I would probably personally, I'll put a little bit of padding in there, but that is definitely not going to get crushed. It's going to be much more robust, and definitely probably a good idea in a prepper's kit out. I've added a little bit of plumber's grease to the end now. So this, I presume, would be waterproof. We might even hold this under water for a day or so and see if any water leaks in before we put the Radiacode in. I do notice there's an O-ring, so we're going to use just a tiny bit of silicone grease here. We're going to grease up the O-ring first, just to be sure. It does sink very slowly. It's almost neutrally buoyant. I do hope this is waterproof though, because I haven't had a chance to actually play with this yet. I've only just got it. In with a 103. The 103 floats. Let's dry this off. Open it up. See if the Radiacode Zero survived. There's water on the threads. Bone dry inside. This is very, very good. I'm looking forward to seeing this get some good use. Now, I had a look at some of the other promos they sent me. The Radiacode 110, I put a glow-in-the-dark case on. But they did send me a bunch of different cases in the same form factor, which I'm pretty sure will fit the Radiacode Zero. So this looks to be the same sort of size. So I think the jet black sort of fits the ethics of this, and it sort of matches that protective case as well. I think once this is in the rubber housing, this might provide enough buffering to fit into that protective capsule. So we'll have a look. I always feel like I'm going to break things when I put these in the rubber cases like this. I feel like I should put baby powder on it or something like that, but there is a little bit of lubricant on the silicone from manufacturing, so it does eventually go in there. Get a little bit of a tease out around here, and we can put our little carabiner clip on here. Actually, that matte black looks rather nice. Right, let's see how it fits in here, because I was a little bit worried when I put it in here that it felt like it would rattle, and that tends to break things. So yeah, that's much better. We can probably take that carabiner off, and it would probably fit in the tube with it. Yep, it will. So that's much better. That'll fold in. That stops it bouncing around. There's a little tiny bit of play, but I think once it's in there, it's not going to be able to develop any sort of momentum and slap against the side of it. Although these, yeah, the scintillation crystals are pretty robust. They're not like Geiger tubes, which I have a couple of. I've actually broken a couple of old Soviet issue military Geiger tubes because I handled them too roughly. The only other question I've got maybe is, can we fit, if we roll this up properly, can we fit the charge cable in the tube with it? Maybe. Maybe, baby. Oh, it's looking like it will. Oh, I've got to just pack this in more intelligently. That's mostly what I need to do. So, I probably could fit a small or a short USB-C charge lead in here. But yes, with a bit of mucking around, you can get the charge lead in there as well. And you could get the lid on. So that will go in with the charge lead in here. So, for a bug-out kit, that would probably work. Although I'd probably find myself a smaller lead, maybe something like this one. This is not the best quality, but it is certainly short, and so you could roll it up probably in like an S pattern like this and drop the USB-A section there, the USB-C section. That works much better, and there's room for a carabiner in there too. So that actually gives you the whole kit and caboodle. I've got to learn how to handle this in here. And actually what I'd probably do, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shake out the carabiner. I'm going to put that on the top, so we can still have a carabiner, still clip it onto your gear, but that will fit in the top, negating the need to carry it in the case with that. And there you go, you can clip that on stuff now. So that's nice. I like that. I might even do a separate unboxing video for just this, because it's interesting stuff. And this is always the fun with sponsorship stuff. When you get sent something like this, it's the fun in often interpreting how it can be used, or the instructions. And I stress, I haven't read the instructions. I did get told that I was going to be sent this, and I was sort of expecting it, but I didn't have a lot of time to do research until it arrived. So this is going to be fun. I'm gonna see if we can put this to the test. Going to do some comparisons. We'll have some fun. I was kind of curious. I had to stop for a moment. I can hear this ticking very faintly inside there. I wonder if I can connect to it with Bluetooth from outside the container. I did. I heard it go blip inside. Really? Yep, I can connect it with Bluetooth inside this container. That opens a host of interesting possibilities. Whack some thorium electrodes under it and see if it picks up any extra counts. It does, and it's going off inside. I can hear the alarm going off inside. That's useful to know. It's sitting on top of some thorium electrodes. That's pretty cool. Okay, so I just plugged the Zero into the official software, and it's saying the device firmware has a newer version than expected than the currently running Radiacode program. So I may need to upgrade the software, but this is not uncommon. When they send me things, they've got like the latest of the latest firmware on them. So yeah, we'll sort that out in a minute.
A few moments later.
Alright, my PC software was a bit behind the time. I had version 1.14, so I updated to the current latest one, which is the 1.15. And yes, we can confirm Radiacode Zero does not support spectrums. That's okay, we kind of expected that. But we're going to have a browse around and see what sort of settings we can play with, and what sort of other stuff we can do. We can mess with the calibration as well even. So I'm going to have a play on the PC software. I just noticed this shows me the current temperature in here as well. That's really nice. So I'm just running some comparisons between the Radiacode Zero and a homemade Geiger counter with the Russian SBM20 Geiger tube. And picking up just general background radiation. They're fairly similar. Perhaps this scintillator is a little bit more sensitive. Anyway, I hope this was an interesting video. We'll see you in the next one. And yeah, well, I need to light this up and get ourselves a thumbnail image of some kind. We'll do that. We'll go, hey, look at this. And that's our thumbnail. So, see you in another video. I hope it was interesting.